Skyroot LCC to all station. New T0 is 12:05 30 seconds.
All right, we are hearing from the mission control that the new T0 time or the liftoff time for Mission Aagaman is reset to 12:05 p.m. So stay tuned. We'll be with you, and we'll give you some more space trivia. We have a lot of those, and we'll also take you through the journey of the rocket as well. You know, many of the times, one of the questions that comes is why space? You know, it's so hard. Getting to space is hard enough. Getting to space on the first try is even
All
harder.
stations to note.
So if it's so hard, why do it at all?
Vikram-1 Mission Aagaman.
What does it hold of such huge importance that we want to strive for making to the stars?
I mean, if you think about it, all the activities that, happen on Earth, they are connected in some or the other way to space. Space has quietly become a part of our daily life. Every weather forecast, every map that guides us home, every digital payment and long distance call leans on us. It all leans on a satellite somewhere overhead.
And I mean, it's like the human curiosity that takes you really farther. And like humans, we actually like complex things. And we just it's not just enough to stay on one planet. And so that's why the man decided to take a decision to set off to some higher horizons. And it is still, after 80-90 years, the complexity still remains so high in space travel.
Yeah, and one question that comes about is how do you make all of that happen?
The new launch ISC is 12:05 30 seconds.
Right, we've just gotten call out and confirmation that the new T0 is 12:05 p.m. Just as a reiteration to all our viewers. So we were talking about what it takes to make all of these happen, and of course we would like to thank ISRO for all their support, from opening the doors to the Satish Dhawan Space Centre, the historic first launch pad, issuing us guidance and helping us with all the nitty-gritty details. They've worked with us day and night on this. They've treated this vehicle as though it were their own, and they're so committed to making sure that Mission Aagaman reaches its intended orbit that they've essentially become a part and parcel of the Skyroot family.
They treated the vehicle as their own, as you correctly said, Suyash. Like, they have been involved with us throughout the entire campaign, helped us, and along with ISRO, we would also like to take a pause to thank InSpace, and they have acted as a bridge between the government organization, facilitating all the review meetings, everything, and allowing us access to SHAR, all the policies, all the reforms. So thank you InSpace for all the efforts, and thank you for rooting for Skyroot.
Yeah, one interesting thing, and this is a personal experience as well. We did Mission Praramb in November 2022, and believe it or not, the headquarters of InSpace were inaugurated in June 2022.
Just 6 months from our first launch.
So you might have to imagine that it's just 6 months, and they've had to imagine and they have to write and draft all the policies that are required. They have to make sure that they know how the mission is going to be, regulated. What do we need to do to essentially handhold the space sector, the private space sector?
It was very seamless, indeed, very seamless. The way they took all of it.
Yeah, very true. It definitely is not an easy job, and they've excelled at it. Same goes with ISRO. We've had, cases where they've been chasing after us.
Yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah, and it's quite, empowering to know that the government is playing such a huge role in helping make this happen. We talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, we talk about Viksit Bharat 2047, and all of these technologies, what the private sector is trying to build today, is essentially contributing to that goal. If we want to be the world leaders, we need to start now.
Exactly, Suyesh. Like, I was fortunate enough to visit the LPSC test facility when I was with the Raman-1 test campaign. It was a very great experience. I mean, and the coordination with ISRO teams and the way they facilitated the entire test campaign and the data analysis, and post-test the data came like really fast, and like they were after us and they were very patient with us. So yeah, that was a really great experience for the young engineer like me.
Yeah, and that sort of reminds me to the stage test that we did just a couple of months ago. I think nearly 9 months ago.
Yeah, around I think October.
Yeah, October, I think. And so that was the test of the orbital adjustment module. It was a all-inclusive test. We had the entire stage. We had all the engines, the thrusters. We had the avionics. We had something quite interesting and melodic as well. We played Sare Jahan Se Acha using the Raman Mini thrusters on the stage, which was something very unique, very captivating to the young minds. Many people did not think that you could play music out of the screeching sounds of 50 Newton Raman Mini thrusters.
Again, an opera, I told you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Just give me a go. When to sir. Just give me a go when to sir. अभी तो हम pause है ना.
Do one thing. Let it go into ALS. With the ALS command. Do 3 बार बोलने के actuator power.
T minus 11 minutes.
यहाँ से start करेंगे पर ठीक है तो उसके पहले फिर ALS का introduction. Your point. Ground stations are ready. Yes. And this is 9 minutes. ठीक है. 9 minutes to रहेगा.
Automated launch sequence initiated.
Roger.
All right, we're at T minus 11 minutes again, T minus 30, 10:30, sorry. And the automatic launch sequence has begun. We are in the pre-checks phase at the moment, where all the teams are essentially checking the health of the vehicle once again, making sure that all systems are operational and go for launch.
Before that, we had one confirmation that all the ground stations supporting today's mission, they have completed their readiness checks. As the vehicle travels downrange, telemetry will seamlessly transition between multiple ground stations, from Shah to Port Blair, then Bogor in Indonesia, and then finally Yatharaga in Australia. This network ensures continuous communication with the launch vehicle, with all mission data relayed back to mission control in real time.
That's right. And just to recap to all our viewers, some of the callouts that have happened till now. We first had the acquisition of day of launch winds, which is we acquire using a Doppler weather radar the winds prevalent. And as Akhil mentioned earlier, it's slightly a cloudy day today for launch, but come rain or sunshine, we are always ready to launch.
Yeah, the rain can't stop us, I think.
Yeah. And the next thing that we managed to do is, of course, the guidance teams have completed the static navigation profile as well as the gyro compassing of the LINS package. So this is kind of the sensor which tells the attitude of the vehicle, essentially tells you how you're oriented with respect to Earth. And it's something very important that the vehicle has to do. It needs to know where north is and where the direction of gravity is. Post that, like Vede, he just confirmed, we've had all the ground stations. We have 4 ground stations supporting us today. Shar, which is where we are coming to you live from, and then we have Port Blair, following which we have Bogor in Indonesia, and finally the Yatharga ground station in Australia. So all of these ground stations essentially capture telemetry, which is the data from the vehicle,
minus 8 minutes.
and relay it instantaneously to us.
Yeah, Suyash, you were mentioning about how we also see the wind profiles. The wind profiles are also checked. Just a while back, they were checked. And as I can see on the MCC, this wind profile or this data of the winds is also going to be uploaded into the mission computer in the sequence that is coming up. And also, one of the key milestones which have been completed is the transition from external ground power to the rocket's onboard batteries. The vehicle has relied on ground support systems till now, but from this point forward, every stage must successfully power itself. So engineers, I believe, are watching the battery performances and electric health right now to ensure that the transition is smooth and every system is remaining stable as of now.
And for this
T
ALS
minus
sequence
7
also,
minutes.
we have completed all the null checks for all the stage nozzles, and the FNCs are working as fine as possible. And we are also happy that Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister of Space, is joining us live on video call, and he's rooting for Team Skyroot.
We are at T minus 6 minutes and counting. For the viewers who've just joined us recently, on your screens right now is the Skyroot Launch Control Center situated at Shar. We have many engineers looking at the vitals of the vehicle. This includes different teams, starting from avionics,
6 minutes.
guidance, navigation, control, liquid propulsion, solid propulsion, safety, reliability, quality, and of course our IT teams as well. One of the things that has also been completed just now is the uploading of the mission computer init files. And that's a funny name of sorts, but it essentially means initialization files. These are essentially files that contain all the requisite parameters to tell the vehicle what it needs to do in the early ascent of flight. It adjusts for the day of launch wind profiles that we talked about. It also has the gyro compassing
T minus
details
5
within
minutes.
it.
And now we have confirmation that mission computer mode has been successfully changed to flight mode, and we are really jubilant, and everybody is really happy that this stage has been successfully transitioned. And now we'll move towards the next check, that is HMSA disarming.
As we enter the final few minutes of countdown, another key safety milestone is underway. The head mount safe arm mechanism will be activated in a while, and till now it was ensured that the ignition chain has remained safely isolated.
That's right, Vedi. For the viewers who are very curious for this, the head mount safe arm mechanism, which we refer to as
T minus 4
HMSA,
minutes.
is a safety device which is mounted at the head of our solid rocket motors. And the whole job of this device is to safely isolate the pyrotechnics from the rest of the solid grain. And the reason why we do that is for safety, to prevent any accidental ignition from, let's say, lightning strikes. We do have a cloudy day today, and of course we have lightning suppression systems. We have 4 lightning towers on the first launch pad. but there can also be some form of electrical runaway. There can also be static discharge. So to safeguard all these devices from electrical discharges, we have a mechanical separation between the pyro devices and the solid rocket motor.
Right, so yes. So till now, the ignition system,
T
it
minus
was
3
in
minutes.
a protective, non-firing state, but now it's going to move on to a state wherein once the mission computer gives the ignite command, it can initiate a pyrotechnic chain of events.
That's right. And we're at T minus 3 minutes, and we have confirmation that the stage 1 head mount safe arm mechanism, or the stage 1 HMSA, has been successfully armed.
This basically means that our motor is now ready to ignite.
That's really great to hear. Along with this HMSA safety mechanism, we have one more layer of safety which we call the FTS or the CDS, Command District System, or the Flight Termination System. This is utilized when if the vehicle during its flight mode tries to or like deviates from its intended flight trajectory, then the range safety officer can take a call to destruct the vehicle to safeguard the resources around it.
T minus 2 minutes.
That's right. As is with the case with any launch vehicle, we always prioritize safety, and with that in mind, we have all of these systems set up on the vehicle. We are now entering to condition the liquid stages on Vikram-1. So the orbital adjustment module is now conditioning itself and preparing for liftoff. So we are nearly at T minus 1 minute,
All stations.
and
Stand by for the
we
timer.
will leave you
T
with
minus
the
1 minute.
views of Vikram-1 and join you shortly at liftoff.
Minus 55 seconds. Minus 50 seconds. Minus 45 seconds. Minus 40 seconds. Minus 35 seconds. Minus 30 seconds.
Real-time programs activated.
Minus 25 seconds. Minus 20 seconds.
Minus 20 seconds is the call out now.
Minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And we have liftoff of Vikram-1, India's first private orbital launch vehicle. And we have great views coming from the
Plus 10
tracking
seconds.
cameras. And isn't this quite something?
विक्रम-1 ने अपनी उड़ान भरी, प्रथम चरण का प्रज्वलन प्रारंभ हो चुका है। विक्रम-1 ने प्रक्षेपण पथ को लांघकर आकाश को भेदने का निर्णय ले लिया है, एक ब्रह्मास्त्र की तरह।
That's very true, Suyash and Akhil. I am awestruck at the sheer power that stage 1 is producing.
Plus 30
With
seconds.
this, we have two of our major prime mission objectives completed, which was successful ignition and safe tower clearance.
That's right. And we're coming up on max Q now, which is the period of maximum aerodynamic pressure, where the vehicle faces its largest aerodynamic loads as it flies through this zone at Mach 1.5 at an altitude of nearly 9 kilometers.
विक्रम-1 ने सफलतापूर्वक मैक्स
Star 1 main auto.
क्षेत्र पार कर लिया है और
Plus 1 minute. Shot 2 main auto.
दल काफी उत्साहित है इस समय, और विक्रम-1 प्रथम चरण के आगे बढ़ रहा है और हमें श्रीहरिकोटा व पोर्ट ब्लेयर पृथ्वी स्टेशन से मजबूत दूर संकेत मिल रहे हैं, जो बहुत ही अच्छी खबर है।
That's right. We are at a downrange distance of 22 kilometers with an altitude of 34 kilometers. And on your screens right now are excellent onboard camera views from the vehicle.
And we can also see quite nominal chamber pressure values on the MCC screen.
The vehicle is currently at an altitude
And-
of 50 kilometers.
और यहाँ पे प्रथम चरण का प्रतिकरण हो चुका है और द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन भी प्रारंभ हो चुका है.
This is quite a major achievement for the nation, with the vehicle successfully
Plus 2 minutes.
separating stage 1 and the ignition of stage 2 as well.
द्वितीय चरण अपना सफलतापूर्वक कार्य पूरा कर रहा है और प्रथम चरण का दहन अथवा प्रतिकरण समाप्त हो चुका है.
The vehicle is at an altitude of 89 kilometers, traveling at 2.6 kilometers per second. Of course, our target velocity for today is 7.6.
S2 performance normal.
We've just heard call out that the S2 performance or the stage 2 performance is nominal.
ये एक ऐतिहासिक क्षण है पूरे भारत और निजी अंतरिक्ष यात्रा का.
This vehicle has crossed 100 kilometers of altitude, which is the notion of edge of space, and we have reached space, guys.
Congratulations,
Hello,
Vikram-1 is in space.
हमारा यान अंतरिक्ष
Plus 3
तक पहुंच चुका है.
And we've had callouts of separation of the payload fairing. We have successful payload fairing separation.
It's
Payload-
nearly at an altitude of 120 kilometers, and the protective fairing is no
S2
longer required
separated.
and has been cleanly separated from
S3
the launch
motor
vehicle.
ignited.
और यहाँ पे द्वितीय चरण का भी प्रतिकरण संपन्न हो चुका है और तृतीय चरण का प्रज्वलन भी प्रारंभ हो चुका है.
That's right, Akhil. We've had successful ignition of stage 3. The vehicle is currently at 157 kilometers above the Earth's surface. It is 355 kilometers downrange, traveling at nearly 4 kilometers per second. Now, the
S3
telemetry
performance
will
normal.
switch over from Shar to Port Blair and further to Bogor.
अब यान अपनी अंतरिक्ष यात्रा पर निकल चुका है. तृतीय चरण का प्रज्वलन चालू है और उस
Plus 4 minutes.
की प्रतिक्रिया नियमित रूप से चल रही है.
And as you can see on your screens, we have near exact following of the intended trajectory. The two dotted,
Yes,
the
VP,
two
1 and 2
lines
are
on your
tracking in
screen
main auto.
essentially indicate the current performance of the vehicle, and it closely matches with prediction. This is on your screen on board from stage 3. What you see is the rocket plume and the nozzle, and Earth, our home.
What a beautiful view. क्या सुंदर दृश्य है हमारी पृथ्वी का.
S3 performance normal.
और तृतीय चरण का परफॉर्मेंस अब नॉर्मल है, या कि सामान्य रूप से तृतीय चरण का संचालन प्रारंभ हो चुका है और चल रहा है.
That's right. We've had call out that the stage 3 performance is nominal.
Plus 5 minutes.
So stage 3 has a propellant loading of 2.5 tons, and we've had burnout of the stage 3 motor as planned at
S3
T plus
burnout.
5 minutes. Yes, we've gotten confirmation that S3 has burnt out, and now we're entering a planned coast period, something that lasts for 140 seconds, in which it's called as combined
Combined
coast.
coasting is normal.
Right, so we've got call out that the combined coast is nominal. This will last for roughly 140 seconds, where stage 3 is not producing thrust, but it's connected to the vehicle and it's going to coast as a single body. All of this is done to manage the altitude of the vehicle and also control where the stage will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere before splashing in international waters
Plus
in a
6
safe
minutes.
and planned manner. And jubilant views from the launch control center, where the teams are extremely elated and excited.
और मिशन नियंत्रण केंद्र और लॉन्च नियंत्रण केंद्र से आपको दृश्य दिखाई दे रहे हैं. सभी यान परीक्षण दल अत्यंत ही प्रसन्न है और यहाँ पर जो प्रसंग है वो एक उत्सव का प्रसंग बन चुका है. एक ऐतिहासिक क्षण भारत के निजी अंतरिक्ष उड़ान का. विक्रम-1 यान अब अंतरिक्ष में स्थापित हो चुका है। तृतीय चरण अब अपने कोस्ट फेज पे है और ये कोस्ट फेज अभी आप कैमरा व्यूज देख सकते हैं अपने प्रक्षेपण पर्दों या मोबाइल स्क्रीन्स पर, जहां पे आपको धरती का एक सुंदर दृश्य दिखाई दे रहा है।
As we can see on our screens right now, it's really amazing to see that Vikram-1 as of now is going along its intended trajectory exactly as expected. Our plots are really overlapping. The predicted velocities and the current flight velocities are exactly matching. And aren't you guys speechless right now?
I mean, मेरे पास शब्द ही नहीं है, मतलब ये मैं निशब्द हो चुका हूँ।
That's right. We are approaching another point wherein S3 will separate.
S3 is separated.
और तृतीय चरण का प्रतिकरण भी हो चुका है।
And you see wonderful views of S3 separating. And now we have combined coasting has ended, and stage 4 will now coast on its own for the next 130 seconds. So stage 4 will now fly on its own, essentially, and
The control thrusters on the OM will be
S4
continuously
posting
turning
normal.
on and off to maintain the attitude of the stage, making sure that it is pointing the right way. This also ensures that the antennas can maintain connection with the ground station and the satellite can be pointing in the right direction.
that's right. So one unique thing that has been done during separation is we've essentially fired all 4 of our Raman mini thrusters to sort of push stage 4 away from stage 3, and that just sort of guarantees that there is some minimum separation between the two.
अब आने वाला जो चरण है वो द्रव्य प्रणोदन पर आधारित होगा, जिसको हम कक्षा स्थापन या समायोजन खंड ऑर्बिट एडजस्टमेंट मॉड्यूल के नाम से भी जानते हैं, जिसमें द्रव्य प्रणोदन की अवस्थाओं से संचालन होगा जो मोनोमिथाइल हाइड्रोजीन और डाइनाइट्रोजन टाइट्राऑक्साइड पर आधारित है।
9 minutes.
उसके साथ यान के घूर्णी नियंत्रण के लिए, जिसे कंट्रोल थ्रस्टर्स कहते हैं हम लोग, उन रामन मिनी 50 न्यूटन, वो भी मोनोमिथाइल हाइड्रोजीन और डाइनाइट्रोजन टेट्रा ऑक्साइड पर ही आधारित है। उसके अंतर्गत हमारे पास छोटे कोल्ड गैस थ्रस्टर्स जो कि नाइट्रोजन गैस पर आधारित हैं, वो भी कक्षा समायोजन खंड पे स्थित हैं।
S4 ignited.
And we've heard call out that S4 or stage 4 has ignited successfully.
और चतुर्थ और अंतिम चरण का भी प्रज्वलन हो चुका है।
The liquid engine has come alive over 400 kilometers above the Earth, beginning a burn that will last for more than 6 minutes. During this phase, the vehicle will steadily accelerate from about 6.68 kilometers
10
per
minutes.
second to nearly 7.64 kilometers per second, delivering the precise velocity needed to achieve its planned 450 by 450 kilometers circular low Earth orbit at a 60-degree inclination.
और यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि प्रक्षेपण नियंत्रण केंद्र में उत्साह का एक प्रसंग आ चुका है और आपके ऑन बोर्ड प्रक्षेपक पर्दों पर हम देख सकते हैं कि पेलोड्स या जो उपग्रह हैं उनका एक चित्र, यहाँ पे सारे उपग्रह अपने स्थान पर स्थित हैं।
That's right, Akhil. We've also had seamless transition from the
S4
port
performance
layer to
normal.
the Bogor station, and now we are receiving strong telemetry from the Bogor as well as the Yatharga stations in Indonesia and Australia,
Plus 11
respectively. The current altitude of the vehicle is 426 kilometers. Our target is near 450. We're traveling at 6.5 kilometers per second. And like we said earlier, OAM is essentially going to fire its Raman 2 engine for a cumulative burn time of nearly 6+ minutes. So this is the longest burning. It's the smallest in thrust, but it burns for the longest period of time. And it's all given to us by Raman 2, our main engine for this mission.
So yes, it must be a really amazing feeling, right? I mean, you and your team worked on this engine to get it going, and it is finally taking us to space.
Yeah, it's a feeling that's really hard to describe. Me and my team, we worked on this engine to get it going, and it's finally taking us to space. This engine wasn't an easy design. Raman 2 generates 1500 newtons of thrust, and it employs 3 different types of cooling. As if one wasn't enough, we had to put in 3. So we have regenerative cooling, then we have radiative cooling, and we have film cooling. And all 3 of these need to work seamlessly in sync to deliver this phenomenal outcome. So I'm kind of glued to the screens right now. You might just see me peeking over to try to see what the chamber pressure, what the thrust, and what the temperatures are like. But I think I might have to hold for a bit and look at that data in a little while. So while I was talking about Raman 2 and how difficult it was to essentially design an engine this small, like I said, it's a relatively small engine, and the cooling design on this was exceptionally difficult to manage because the engine has to generate a lot of heat during combustion, and the temperatures can reach up to 2700 degrees. That's pretty hot for any metal or any material to sustain. In fact, many metals would just vaporize into thin air at those temperatures. So to make all of this work, we employ something known as regenerative cooling.
S4 performance normal.
Yeah, and we've gotten call out that the S4 performance is nominal. And so I was mentioning about the regenerative cooling, and the best way to understand this type of cooling is to imagine
Plus 14 minutes.
multiple tubes joined side by side and then arranged into a circular fashion to form the thrust chamber. And these tubes, they need to be very, very thin to exchange heat effectively, which means that manufacturing is usually a challenge. And even after the temperatures would still be too high for normal metals to handle. And for this exact purpose, we employ something known as film cooling. And even though it sounds like a fancy name, it just involves injecting fine jets of fuel along the walls of the chamber to effectively add a barrier of colder gas between the combustion chamber and the metal walls. And essentially, one question I get asked very often is, if it's like that, then why is it called regenerative cooling, right? The whole thought process is the tiny tubes that we just talked about. Those tubes.
S4 performance normal. Plus 15 minutes.
और यहाँ पर हमको मिशन नियंत्रण केंद्र से संकेत मिल रहे हैं कि चतुर्थ चरण का भी परफॉर्मेंस सामान्य है और अभी यान 450 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई तक पहुंच चुका है जो कि उसका निर्धारित कक्षा है और कोस्ट फेज प्रारंभ है.
जी हाँ. And it's traveling at 7.3 kilometers per second at an altitude of 453 kilometers right now. So coming back to the regenerative cooling point of things, the tiny tubes around the thrust chamber of the engine essentially have fuel pumped through it.
S4 thrust cutoff.
And we've got confirmation that we have cutoff of the Raman 2 engine, which means
Solaris
that
satellite separate.
and we have separation of the Solaris satellite and the scope satellite.
Vikram-1
Both satellites
Aagaman
have
mission
been deployed
accomplished
successfully,
to mission
and we
director.
have reached space on our first
जी
attempt
हाँ,
successfully.
इतिहास में पहली बार एक यान ने अपने प्रथम परीक्षण उड़ान में ही उपग्रहों को उनकी निर्धारित कक्षा में स्थापित कर दिया है.
And now comes something very, very interesting. You can see on your screen from on board the cosmic bloom and the micro art, and we have sun rising behind it. It is the dawn of a new space era.
ये एक नए अंतरिक्ष युग का प्रारंभ है. सूर्य के किरण ने ये प्रकाशित कर दिया है.
Skyroot has actually completely redefined orbital flights, I guess, forever.
यस, अवश्य. ये कथन बिल्कुल
Plus
सही है.
17 minutes.
So right now we are awaiting
Hello everybody.
the Cosmoser
Today we have
satellite
created history.
to
Vikram-1
perform.
Aagaman mission is a grand success.
And we've heard call out from the mission director that the Aagaman mission is a grand success.
सफलतापूर्वक प्रथम मिशन आगमन ने इतिहास के पन्नों में अपना नाम अंकित कर दिया है.
Hello space, we have arrived. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for being with us on this historic journey today. With Raman 2 and Vikram-1 now safely in orbit, we are not just reaching space, we are opening space for all.
आज की इस ऐतिहासिक उड़ान में हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए आपका हार्दिक धन्यवाद. विक्रम-1 ने सफलतापूर्वक सारे उपग्रहों को कक्षा में पहुंचा दिया है और भारत के अंतरिक्ष सफर में एक नया उज्जवल अध्याय खोल दिया है. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.